Welcome to the Nightly Rant. I'm Mike.
And I'm Torya.
This is the show where we talk about the awful things that have happened in our day, the awesome things that have happened in our day,
and all the things in between.
Thanks for listening, and we truly hope you enjoy.
So, I believe that people should be forthcoming with their strengths and their weaknesses.
Do you now?
Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So, we decided for these interviews that we're doing that since I found this microphone through a much more expensive microphone advertisement. So that's interesting.
This one?
No, it was that one.
Oh, okay.
And it led me to this cheaper one. It was only like $30, $27, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it came all the way from China to here, but it got really, really good reviews. And I noticed that a couple of the people on there were using my exact camera. So I'm like, well, it has to work.
Right.
So I order it. It comes. I'm all excited. I want to try it because it's going to improve everything, because the podcast comes from the audio of the freaking video.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway. It doesn't work. There's no sound.
Now, let me interject my point of view on this story. He comes into the bedroom, looking all sad, that his microphone would not work. My microphone won't work.
Something like that.
Yeah. You looked so sad.
I was, because I hadn't figured anything out yet by then. So then I sat down and I started Googling things, and all the videos were showing like a sound control area where you could raise and lower the microphone volume, and my camera doesn't have that. Come to find out, my camera's not supposed to have that, but those were improperly tagged videos. So
Right.
anyway, long and short of it, as I read through and I get to this answer that says, well, that camera needs a preamp for the kind of microphone to work, because there's balanced mics and unbalanced mics, and they have to match what's on the thing, and the thing has an unbalanced and that's a balanced. So the way to match it is to get a preamp and plug it in, and it'll power up it'll give the microphone more power, and then it can transmit into the camera better. And I'm like, right then I went, I'm not spending more money. That's it. I mean, I know for a fact that it ain't going to be less than $27.
Right.
So I'm not spending. If I was going to spend $50, I would have bought the more expensive microphone in the first freaking place.
The one that's quite literally built to go with your camera.
Like I would have done it. Why wouldn't I? Why would I pay for 2 parts from somebody when I could get 1 part from the manufacturer of my camera?
Right.
So okay, yeah, I'm ranting tonight because this pissed me off. I pissed myself off. I did.
I'm
still pissed off at myself.
I know.
So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's it. I'm sending this shit back. I'm done. I am not doing this again.
And he comes into the bedroom looking all angry.
So I told her what was going on. Then I come back out and I'm like, okay. It says to test to see if it's that microphone or if it's the camera. Plug in an external computer microphone. Well, I have one that attaches to my headphones for when I do like voiceover, where I have to listen real carefully and then have the microphone. I find it easier to get better quality sound with that little thing. And it's a teeny tiny. It wasn't cheap, but I had like a 50% off discount coupon. So I think it cost me $30 and it would have been $60. So, it's not bad. But that worked. So now I'm really pissed. Okay, this thing's going back. That is it. And so I'm going on to Amazon to find out, like, where's the button to click to say, go do this. And I happen to see the specs. And so I'm like, I'm going to check one more time to see if it really is that type of microphone or not. I scroll down. The first thing I find out is it's not that kind of microphone. It matches the microphone on the camera.
Okay.
Like it's supposed to. And the second thing I see is that it requires... Everyone ready for this? It requires... drum roll. 1 AA battery not included. Yeah. It had no battery. Guess what happened when I put the battery in? The little green light came on to show that it was on. And then when I spoke, it was rather loud in the microphone, i.e. shotgun of microphones. Yeah, I was an idiot. And you know what's worse? I was a typical man idiot. I went to those instructions later, and the first instruction was to open the door and put in a battery. Very first instruction. Do you think I would look at it? No, I'm a man. I don't look at those things. I look at the pictures. Find out what buttons do what.
When something goes wrong, your first step isn't to go and look at the instructions. Your first step is to go straight to the internet to see why the fuck it's broken.
Yeah. Why is this damn piece of shit broken? It's fucking true.
It wasn't until after you'd figured out the problem that
I realized how stupid I was.
And all set up, and you're like, huh, guess I could have looked at these.
Yeah.
Like...
But, you know, it reminds me of something you talked to me about a few months ago where we need to teach both of the kids how to Google better.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, what if that instruction never got put into the box?
Right, or you'd already thrown it into the wood stove.
Yeah, you'd have to Google.
Right.
And I managed to find the answer on my first try. So, you know, it didn't take me forever. It's just frustrating because I felt so stupid because I'm like, great, I was supposed to put a battery in the damn thing. And then as soon as the battery went in and the green light started blinking on the camera, I was like, oh my God. The whole time that's what's been missing is freaking power to the microphone. But what was weird was, it was like, you could hear stuff on the video. It wasn't completely silent, so I don't know if it's just amplified enough to pick up a little bit of sound, and then when you give it the battery, it's what gives it the kick. Because that's how, like, this guy, when you use the external microphones, it will drain the battery a lot faster than using the internal microphone.
Makes sense.
So,
well, because then you also consider it, the internal microphone is optimized for it.
Yes.
The external is not.
Exactly. And it's not exactly a matched pair either, because I don't even think Zoom makes lavalier microphones. So they're made by, I can't remember what companies, but it's a different company. But they're friends with Zoom because they advertise each other's products. So. But, you know, that's the thing that's also interesting is been involved with this new Huntington Beach Libertarian thing, and it's interesting how he goes about it. I think he's trying to identify who the future leaders of the group are going to be. Just a feeling that I get. He
doesn't want Libertarian to end with him.
Yeah.
And he's gone to the Libertarian Party of Orange County meetings and realized they can't accomplish anything.
So here he goes. Mm-hmm. You know, and he's really focusing on that. Mm-hmm. And it's great. It's admirable. It's very admirable. And he's trying to do it the right way. I mean, I think in the end, he said something about they're going to do it at Buca de Beppo.
Yeah.
And then...
I've never been there.
And then a different place the next month. What I told him was, I don't think the location matters as much if you have it during the current meeting, if you know where you're going to be. So in other words, if there was a meeting on this Wednesday, and we went to the meeting this Wednesday, as long as they can tell us next Wednesday we're meeting at Claim Jumper over there across from Knott's Berry Farm, then it doesn't matter that you move your location around. Because in the next month, when you go to Claim Jumper by Knott's Berry Farm, they can say to you, oh, we're going to be at IHOP by Moody and Lincoln in Cypress. As long as they tell you ahead of time so you can plan where you have to be, I don't see any problem with that.
Well, I think that the main thing they're focusing on is having a big private room.
Yes.
And the reason he doesn't particularly want the restaurant is because the room's only semi-private.
Well, right, and that's a problem. But also he's looking for consistency. He wants to have the meeting in the same place as often as possible on the same weeknight time frame, so that people can get into a habit of being there. And I think that's kind of what they tried to do with the LPOC, because they have the social night that's once a month, and then they have the meeting night that's once a month.
Right.
So the officers are supposed to try to be there twice a month. Everyone else is supposed to try to be there once a month.
Right.
And so I think he's going to probably try to model it after that behavior. But it's interesting to see how he's doing it, and he's being democratic about it. He's not trying to force things down anyone's throat. He's listening to everybody's ideas.
And we're going to meet a lot of really interesting people.
It's an impressive setup on his part.
Yes.
And yeah, you're right. You do meet interesting people. I'm already meeting interesting people.
Interesting on both ends of the spectrum.
Uh-huh.
But interesting people.
Well,
they give you something to talk about later.
Like the gentleman that he had that homeless discussion with, I don't know that he actually agrees with me or totally disagrees with me or partially agrees with me. I don't know what the deal is, okay? But I do know that we seem to have found some common ground and aren't, at each other's throat.
Right.
And I think that he understands that he can disagree with me, but still vote for me because I hold the issue that he thinks is important high.
I don't even think that it was a matter of him, like a matter of you coming on super strong at first with that guy, though. I think it was more a matter of he realized you didn't agree with him 100%, and he put earmuffs on and wasn't really listening.
Immediately, yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So it was you were strong from one side, he put earmuffs on, which is double clashes, and
well, that's the problem though. If you say something, this is what gets me. There are times when I always try to focus on keeping my message shorter now. Okay? But there are times when keeping it shorter makes it so the other person totally doesn't understand what you're saying. And then they come back with a response, and when you come back and say, yeah, that's what I was saying. No, you weren't. And then they start an argument with you. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there with people. So what I do is I just express, no, here's what my stance is. And if they don't get it the second time, then I elaborate. And I get long, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to go in the weeds because they don't seem to understand the general term. They don't grasp what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's like the other day with Mitchell. Tell your coach that I have to take you out at 8:15. That's exactly half of practice. I don't get it. What was there not to get about that? And in reality, even if he didn't get it, he only had to do one thing. Tell his coach he has to leave at 8:15. That's it. That responsibility doesn't change whether he understands it or doesn't understand it. That is his only job. The rest of it was up to me to come and pick him up at 8:15, take him home in the car at 8:15, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
He had one job. Coach, my dad needs to take me home at 8:15. That's it. That was his job. And he just turned it into something it didn't need to be.
He turned it into a give me this whole long drawn out explanation about life.
Well, yeah, and that's what a lot of people do. They take things and they turn it into this ginormous discussion that doesn't really lead anywhere.
And if you ask him now, he still doesn't get it.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't understand why I said what I said or any of that.
Ooh.
I'd like to see this one. It's just interesting to me how people, I don't know, they see things differently.
Do they see things differently, or do they listen to things differently?
Good point. I would, if asked that question and I had to answer one or the other, I would say listen to things differently, as in not really listening.
Well, yeah. Differently could be varying ends of the how much you were listening spectrum.
Do you remember when we had the episode about extremism?
Yes.
And we found extremism in pretty much everything?
Right.
Even in things typically thought to be good, we found extremism?
Right.
Okay, well, this is kind of an example of that. It's kind of an example of that. You know, it's like, it's an all or nothing kind of proposition for certain people.
Yeah.
And there's no, like, they don't give any thought to, like, the potential middle ground, which is where any decision that's made is going to have to be. That's why when a society pulls together more than 50% of its citizens to scream about an issue, politicians pay attention. Because politicians are driven by voting. I get to say what I need to say because I want to win and I want to apply the policies that I see being necessary, and I want to cut certain things and save us some money on certain things, put certain plans into place that other people wouldn't put into place. And you know what? I'm going to listen to everybody. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to have my staff do research. I'm going to compare their research results with my research results. And I'm going to compare those with what people say to me. And I'm going to actually go visit the areas they talk about. So if they say they want, permanent supportive housing at a such and such place, I'm going to go out there and look. And knock on doors and talk to neighbors and see how they feel about it. Because in the end, I'm going to vote the way I think is best. Not even necessarily the way I would want it. But what's best.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
It's only the ethical thing to do.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, having a disagreement with somebody. Yeah, he's funny. Having a disagreement with somebody is fine. You can have your opinion. I no longer look at that as you're my adversary. You're just an adult with a different opinion. And you are a Gigalosaurus. I see him. He's asleep. I've seen him asleep, 3 straight years. Every night. It's like a thing he does, you know? He sleeps, then he wakes up. Then he sleeps. Then he wakes up. And he kind of repeats that all day long for like 23 of 24 hours. I think he nets about an hour of waking time, this guy. I thought cats were bad. Holy cow, this dog sleeps a lot. And he's healthy as a horse. We brought him to the vet. He's healthy as a horse. Healthy as a horse, this dog. I don't get it. What did I say that was so freaking funny? Leave him alone. His poor little tie is there. Little tongue sticking out. He's so tired. Poor baby. It's okay, Yog Dog. You can bite her. We're going to have a hard time continuing. We're going to keep laughing. Oh my God. Becky. She thinks that's funny even. Wow. We're in a bad way here, folks. I think we're going to have to cut it short because somebody has lost her marbles. So, for Yogi, for Torya, they say goodnight. And from me, I say, hi, pretty girl. Hasta la bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. This is Mike, and I truly hope you enjoyed this show. You're able to subscribe to this show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher so as to never miss an episode. If, by chance, you did miss an episode here or there, you can catch up on all shows, past and present, by heading over to yogispodcastnetwork.com/ TNR show. Thanks for listening.